Hey there, I'm Ulrich. In this video, I'm going to show you how to choose your web hosting for your website or for your services, right? Depending on the type of products or services you're selling, or depending on what you're going to be doing on your website, you're going to need a different type of hosting. So I'm going to be touching two types of hostings, the WordPress hosting and the web hosting. Yes, they are both web hostings, but they are two different things. The difference lies in so many details. So I'll start with the web hosting. The web hosting, you can basically have the access or the ability to share several websites or to host several websites on your web hosting. You can create professional emails, and there's so many other things. So essentially, the web hosting, you have access to cpanel, and you can do a lot of different things, right? There's a little bit of a learning curve, just a little bit, but the benefits pale in comparison to what you're going to be learning anyway. Now, the WordPress hosting, you still need to know how to install WordPress on it, right? The WordPress hosting, as the name implies, you can only install WordPress on it. So you can only install your website on WordPress. So there's no other platforms. Whereas with the web hosting, there's several other platforms that you can install a website on. But with the WordPress hosting, you can only install your website on WordPress. So basically, that's what the WordPress hosting is. And beside from that, the WordPress hosting is also quite expensive compared to the web hosting. And frankly speaking, when you look at the differences on what they offer, there's not that much difference, but it's just that to install WordPress on the WordPress hosting is quicker and it's easier, but you can do the same thing on the web hosting, right? So, but I'll just show you the difference between the two. So before I start sharing my computer screen with you, what I would like you to do is, I would like you to go in the description down below, click on the link. The first link you will see, that link will lead you into the TSO's homepage, or you can use the link on my screen here, oemedia1.com/TSOhost. That's my affiliate link with TSOhost. That link will also lead you into the TSO's homepage. So why do I choose TSOhost over other hosting provider? There are several reasons. Efficiency, quality, great support, and many other details. So go ahead, click on that link, and then I'll see you on my PC to walk you through the details on how to choose your hosting and the difference between a WordPress hosting and a web hosting. So do that now. I'll see you on my PC. On the search engine, I'm going to be looking for, I'm going to go to the TSO's homepage. So type oemedia1.com/TSOs. So once you tap that, it will lead you into the TSO's homepage. As you can see, this is the TSO's homepage. And on TSOhost, you can buy a domain name if you want to. If you don't yet have a domain, you can buy a domain name if you want to, but I recommend a different platform for domain name. The platform I buy my domain names from is called Namecheap, right? You can buy a domain name from Namecheap, but you can also buy a domain name from TSOs. I will leave a link of Namecheap in the description, but from what I know, TSOs is great for web hosting, so you can buy a domain name from Namecheap and integrate that domain name with your hosting with TSOs. I have a video where I show you how to do that. On TSOs here, as you can see here, there's domains, there's web hosting, and there's WordPress hosting. So for today, we're just going to focus on web hosting and WordPress hosting. So there's email security support. So let's start with the web hosting, for example, right? With the web hosting, as you can see here, a web hosting plan stores your site data so that when users visit your domain name, your site will appear. Okay, again, WordPress hosting does the same, right? But the only difference is you can only install it on the WordPress, right? So now on the web hosting, there's different plans. So there's web hosting, there's a web plus, there's a web hosting plus, right? So let's start with the web hosting for now. So you click on that, and on the web hosting, there's 4 different types of hostings, right? So I'm not going to go into the details on what everything offers here, but what I will recommend you to start with is the maximum plan. Why do I recommend you for the maximum plan? Because you have, free SSL certificates. You see? Free SSL certificates with S, right? And here on the most popular one, the first two, I will not even recommend you to start with these ones, right? Because why wouldn't I recommend you? Okay, let's say if I recommend you the deluxe, for example, right? You're allowed to have 50% off SSL. I believe it's for the first year only. And you're going to be paying $5.99 anyway, excluding VAT. So that's including VAT is going to cost you a little bit more. So that's even when you're paying. So you're paying this for like 12 months. So that's when it's $5.99 a month. But now, and you're allowed to, so basically here, it doesn't mean 50% off SSL for every single website, right? It's 50% off just for one website. So the next website you need to install on your web hosting, you will need to pay the SSL. The SSL is so you see this padlock on the corner here is the secure socket layer. So every single website on the internet these days have to have it. So you must have a SSL right, on your website. So that's what an SSL is. Now, when you come here to the maximum, for example, you will see that you have free SSLs, right? You on this plan, for example, is $14.99. And you can host up to 200 websites. You only have one free domain name. Even this free domain name, I recommend you to buy a domain name from Namecheap. I wouldn't recommend you to buy a domain name to get the free domain name. I mean, you can claim your free domain name, don't get me wrong, but I would recommend you to buy a domain name from Namecheap and then integrate it. Unlimited SSD storage. So you have 2 GB memory, free SSL, right? So this is the plan I recommend you to go ahead with. And once you decide to go ahead for 12 months, because when you buy for 12 months, you see you save a lot of money, right? You save some money. So once you've decided, you made your mind, go ahead with the maximum and just click on buy now. So on buy now, you can see, I mean, this is how the page look like. You're going to be paying for the year, £215 a year. That's, including UK VAT. So that's how much it's going to cost you, and just click on checkout. Now I'm going to go to the web hosting again, and then I'm going to go to web hosting plus, right? Web hosting plus offers has a lot more things. So the first one is web hosting plus lounge. It's $16.99 per month, right? It has unlimited website, free domain name, 60 GB SSD, 2 GB memory, 1 CPU, which is really, really good. Free SSL certificate. So essentially, it offers what the maximum offers, but with a little bit more features, and for $16.99 a month. So here, again, based on your business need, based on what you're going to be doing online, you will need to evaluate what type of hosting is best for you. So make your mind, this part, if so people we are going to be doing like quite a lot of things on the website, and they might worry about the capacity, the space, CPU, and all those details. So I recommend you to really spend some time, have a look at it, and think about what plan you need here. So in case you make your mind, just click on buy, go ahead and purchase, right? Now, let's go back up here on the WordPress, right? WordPress here, you have the, you have the WordPress hosting, right? So go on WordPress, click on WordPress hosting. As you can see directly here, you'll notice the difference on the price and the specs, price and specs. So you can see there on the basic is $3.99. One website, you can install 30 GB storage, free SSL certificates. I still try to understand why they put certificates with S here when it's one website, right? So it's supposed to be certificate, but not certificates. I'm sorry, but yeah. So it's free SSL certificate. Yes, it's WordPress website. Now the $5.99 is one website again. The $9.99 is one website again. The e-commerce is one website again. As you can see, all of them, you have one website. So you can only install one website on it. Yeah, so here, for example, the e-commerce one, you can go ahead and install WooCommerce plugin, right? Free premium plugin extension. So it's only one website, but here, what I like about a lot of people are starting to like the WordPress hosting though, because it's easier to install WordPress on it. You know, even the web hosting is easier to install WordPress, but you just need to learn a little bit more on how to process. But the WordPress hosting even makes it much more easier to install WordPress on it. There's a possibility of hosting several websites with the WordPress hosting, but it's going to cost you a little bit more money. But we're going to explore it in a minute. Let's go to WordPress again. And then on WordPress, click here on WordPress Pro Hosting, right? And then we'll see what it offers. On WordPress Pro Hosting, there's a Pro 5. As you can see, the price jump is $24.99. There's a Pro. So you can install 5 websites. There's Pro 10, 10 website, Pro 25, 25, Pro 50, 50. So you have a lot of benefit when you go for like the Pro one, right? But you will need to spend a little bit more money. So the Pro costs a little bit more money. As you can see, the difference between the Pro and the normal, there's a big difference. So you can install. My recommendation for the WordPress hosting will be the Pro 5. If you want to go even better, you can go for the Pro 10. So the Pro 10 costs £40, excluding VAT, obviously. So I will recommend you to go for the Pro 10 if you're going to build a lot of websites. So if you feel like you're going to just go about with four to five or 3 to 5 websites, I will recommend you to go with the Pro 5, because the Pro 5 has all the features of the e-commerce. I'll show you in a moment here. So you see WordPress. So let's say, for example, if you want to build like an e-com site, you basically have this privilege. So this is the e-com. So on the WordPress hosting, as you can see, there's several plans. So there's an e-commerce one that costs £25 a month, and it's for one website only. But if you go for the WordPress Pro hosting, you're paying for the same money. So my recommendation for you would be go for the Pro 5, really. And if you want to build more website, or if you have more things that you would like to build, then I would recommend you to upgrade it to the Pro 10 or Pro 25. It really depends on your business need. I mean, for me, that's just the only difference between a web hosting and a normal hosting. Is make your mind, purchase your web hosting, right? If you want to know how to install WordPress and set up WordPress, I have a separate video where I show you how to do that. But for now, I'll just walk you through my backend so you can see how how the backend looks like. So I'll click here on my TSO host, and then I'll log in. Okay, so this is basically my dashboard, right? And I'm using the shared hosting. I am using the shared hosting. So on this hosting, I have 2 websites. I have this website, which is acquirewebsite.com. I have another website, it's called owigmedia1.com. So I didn't have to buy different hosting all the time. So here, for example, it says home, services, domain, billings, and so on. I'm going to go to service straight away because that's where we need to go to. And click here on service. On service, I'm going to click here on active. Right? So now click here on active. And I'm using the plans that I'm using the cpanel maximum, the one that I showed you before. So cpanel maximum, that's the one I'm using. I need to click here on log into cpanel. Okay, here we are on my cpanel account, right? This is like the websites I have here. I have acquire a website. If I go to the second page, right? On the second page here, you can see I have install owigmedia1.com. This website is installed and it's there. I mean, it's live. And there's shop, owigshop.co.uk. As you can see here, owigshop.co.uk is there. So let me go to, yeah. So that's basically, yeah, what it is. So now if I want to go to this website, I can just click here on admin and go to my WordPress dashboard. So you can see I'm here on my WordPress dashboard, and then I can just go ahead and proceed with my work. Yes, like when you're on this area like this, right? The WordPress hosting does not have the cPanel admin. This is a cPanel admin. It, like, you know, it looks a little bit daunting. It looks a little bit complicated, but the WordPress hosting don't have all these, right? So you can install your WordPress here. There's many platforms. There's like Magento. There's Joomla. There's Grupo. There's PHP BB. I mean, there's quite a lot of platforms you can use, right? There's preferences like such as language. I mean, so you can see what you can benefit from by using the cPanel. Yes, and then you get a lot of benefits, right? And you can also create like a professional email here. You know, you click here and create an email. I mean, I have a video where I show you how to create a professional email. I'm not going to go into those details now, but you can go ahead, create a professional email, and yeah, and use it on your business. So, okay, guys, that was a basic example of what a WordPress hosting is and what a web hosting is. So you now know the difference between a WordPress hosting and a web hosting. The web hosting is a shared hosting. You can host several websites on it, depending on the plan that you choose. And there's that, you know, and then you have access to cPanel and a lot of other advantages. While the WordPress hosting, which is also great, right? You can also host several websites on the WordPress hosting, but you also that you have to go to the WordPress Pro hosting, you know, to host like 5 websites, 10 websites, 50 websites, and then it costs a lot of money. But the advantages with the WordPress hosting is it's easier to install WordPress on it. I mean, it's just easier. But I would say at the end of the day, the web hosting is also easy. So all you need to do is learn how it works, right? And it doesn't take much time to learn. I have a video on how to set up your hosting with web hosting.